212.5. That's the number in terms of the over-under for tonight for game one. How do you feel about it, knowing that these offenses have the ability to break out, but also, again, stingy D?
Yeah, game one totals are hard because we want to see what the series looks like, right? What's the game plan going to be on both sides? So, like, personally, I'm not betting the total tonight, but I lean to the over. And I lean to the over because obviously we have two defensive teams here, yet oh, wow, and it's gone up since I've even looked at it. So apparently people
214 now.
agree. Um, but yeah, it's two, defensively efficient teams, but they're both very talented on offense. And if Robert Williams is out, or he's definitely going to be limited if he plays, that takes away one of the best defensive weapons in the series. And I think that the Celtics half court defense is so good, and the Celtics half court defense matches up so well with the Warriors if they play slow and get into a half court, that Golden State is going to try and run and get quick shots off. And I think that whether they go in or not is going to dictate the pace to a degree, and that we see more shots earlier in this series before things, as they always do, tighten up down the stretch in bigger series. So I lean over in game one and to begin with, and these totals slowly start kind of creeping down and going under.
The interesting thing, Matt, is, you think of the Warriors and the Splash Brothers and Steph and Clay, and it's, well, they're going to be raining threes, taking a million attempts. It's actually Boston, between these two teams anyway, that is more reliant on the three, whereas the Warriors are more prone to attack the basket. And if you don't have Rob Williams out there, there could be a lot of opportunities on the inside, even though Boston is, the bigger team between the two. So how do you feel about 214?
Well, first of all, yeah, it's not a lack of homework that got you to say 212.5. This moved like in the last 10 minutes. So I don't know what's going on that caused the total to jump 1.5 this fast.
Do you think Matt, do you think no Rob Williams would be worth 1.5 to the total? Because I'm with you. I don't think he plays.
Yeah, so that's actually my concern. And it's not just him specifically. So I think in general, Rob Williams not playing will boost point scoring in the game, because I don't think the Celtics want to play Daniel Tice. I think they'll play more of Grant Williams and Derek White and go smaller. Tice looked awful last series in the minutes he did play. But the other thing that happens if Rob Williams doesn't play is that Kevon Looney also probably plays less minutes, because they don't need that matchup as much. So I think if Rob Williams is out, not only do you get a higher pace and worse defense from Boston, you also are going to get it from Golden State, where maybe they're more willing to go with their smaller lineup. Maybe they're more willing to play Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, all those guys on the court together. But the reason that I don't really have a strong take for this is I have no idea what the minutes are going to look like for the role players on either side. Obviously, we're not sure about Rob Williams, but I don't know how much Otto Porter is going to play, Andre Iguodala, Gary Payton II. Yep. There's just so much uncertainty here. So if all of those guys were playing big minutes, I would definitely like the under, but the less those defensive-oriented players are out there, the more the over will look good. So it's just very difficult to say. I think I'd probably wait for a starting lineup before betting the total for this game, because I think it could go a lot of ways based on the rotations.